Good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela, and I have got questions for you. What opens with Nick hacking off heads, and what closes with Nick bonding with the head of his household, his mama? If you guessed Fear the Walking Dead, Season 3, Episode 15, Things Bad Begun, then you're correct. Thank you so much for clicking on Be Fabulous You and sticking around to see how we get from opening to closing. Let us proceed. So we have Nick cavalierly making 2-pointers into his shopping cart with dead heads. And his purchaser, when he finally gets this basket of heads to the purchaser, he's going to take the fresh heads, but not the rotten heads. The rotten heads is not good. So some of the heads still are, being, they cut off, but they alive, but they dead. And we find out that his dealer, the guy that's buying the heads from him, is selling the drug that he extracts from like the adrenaline drug at the base of our skull or whatever. He's selling it to the fighters. The Proctors are gearing up for something big. And Nickel could say he'll keep harvesting as long as the drug dealer keeps paying. And then we see baby boy Troy, and he's at the trading post, in the marketplace area. And he ends up, kind of observing something. And he goes up to a guy and he's talking to him. Then he comes up to Nick and he's like, look, the fun's over. It's time to sober up, buddy. The Proctors are planning to attack the dam and your mother's in trouble. We got to go help our mommy. That's baby boy Troy and Nick, and they gonna go off. And then we're at the dam, and we see Mama Maddie and Survivor Strand, or also Victorious Victor. And Victor is like, well, what do you see? Corn, melon, beans, agriculture, country. What you wanted, Madison? And Madison is like, I wanted a future for my kids. I thought we'd have that at the ranch. And Strand is like, we can have it here. And Madison is like, the kids are gone. And Strand is like, we'll build a paradise for them to come home to. And Madison is like, here? And he like, have some drinks so your vision can improve. And then we see Alicia and the black woman. I think I read someplace her name is Diana. Had they said her name? The young black woman she kicking it with, and they're driving and they're planning, and the black woman Diana is trying to get Alicia to cut off her hair. We'll get more money if you sell your hair. I mean, you don't need that hair. It's in the way. Sell your hair. And they just chit-chatting and laughing, and then boom, crash, pop! A car runs into them, and it's a deliberate hit. It's an ambush. It's an attack, and 4 men get out, and they start they attacking them, and the woman Diana, she fighting, Alicia's fighting, and they fighting back and everything. And then the black woman Diana gets her leg injured, I think, and then Alicia gets her gun out and she's shooting. And Diana, the black woman, is like, shoot him, kill him, get him. And Alicia just shoots into the air. So they run away. It's 4 of them, I think. And then, the noise, of course, has attracted Walking Dead. So some walker, they walking up. Okay, so then we see Taka, Walker, Halataka, Malataka, Taka. I just like to call him Taka because I don't know his name. So we see Taka at Daniel's door, and he's like, look, this might be a possible heirloom. Ophelia had this on her when I found her. And Daniel was like, why her? What happened? Why did my daughter die? And Taka was like, I was not there and I do not know. And then they exchange a look. Okay, so then we see Maddie. She's still drinking with Victor. And Maddie is like, you can be lonely or irritated. And, they kind of have a whole conversation about that. Strand is like, well, what about when you did? She like, that fit in the category of lonely. And what about when you did? That fit in the category of irritated. So, she has a life philosophy that you can either be lonely or irritated. If you with somebody, they're going to get on your nerves. If you ain't with somebody, you're going to be lonely. Ha, ha, ha. Okay, so, she's feeling a way about the loss of things past, civilization, the world she knew. And Strand is like, we'll write new stories, Madison. And Madison is like, what's up, Strand? What's going on with you, really? Something ain't right. And Strand is like, well, have you killed? You've killed, and I haven't murdered anyone. And then Daniel walks up and he says to Maddie, your son is here. And then we see Maddie listening to Nick and Troy describe the attackers in the making, getting ready to come to the dam. And it's kind of like, it pans out, and we also see that it's Strand. Oops, hold on a second, guys. See. Okay, so and we also realize that in the room is Strand and the Water Queen Lola and Daniel and Ephraim and maybe somebody else listening too, and they trying to come up with a defense plan. And they it seemed like, I think that what they come up with is, we gonna fight the best we can, but if worse come to worse, we gonna blow up the dam and then just let the people have the water, and we ain't gonna try to dam it up and store it here. We gonna let it flow. Hey, and Strand says to Maddie, you should go. And Daniel is kind of skeptical of baby boy Troy. Yo hablo español, yo hablo un poquito español, wanting to help with the explosive. He like, what you know about explosives, college boy? And Troy like, I ain't no college boy. And he like, well, you been in the army? What branch of the army? Daniel is asking, and he's like, what do you know? Who are you? And Maddie is like, I vouch for him. And then baby boy Troy say something about blah 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 hermano. And then Daniel is like, you are not my hermano. He say in Spanish, you understand that? Like, I will slit your throat. He don't like him. Okay, so then we see Nick. He's following Maddie. And she's mad because she knows that Nick is getting high. And she's like, well, at least eat something. She mad at him. And then we see Maddie. She's coming into the space with Taka and Crazy Dog. I think that's the other guy. But the other guy, part of the nation. And they're leaving. And they say, well, we going to go look for our people. We not willing to die here with y'all fighting for this dam. We rather just, get on the road. We out, but, it's been good walking with you, Madison. And, I'll see you later. And if we see anything on the way, we can scout on our way out. How you scout when you on your way out? You can't radio the information. How you going to get the people the information if you gone? But so they out. So then we see Alicia. She's with a doctor guy. He is a doctor, but he had lost his license, I guess, for harassing women, because she does let him know, look, this black woman here, she will get you with a pickaxe. So don't be jacking, don't be messing with her. And he's trying to recruit Alicia as a medical assistant. People want Alicia everywhere she goes. He's trying to recruit her. The black woman is trying to recruit her. Alicia is in high demand. Okay, so then we see Strand approaching Nick. Nick is in the fridge getting food as his mama told him to. And Strand is like, you got to go, Nick. You and your mom get out. Oh, me? No. I've got other obligations here. That's what Strand says. And then Nick is like, you know something. You're sweating, Victor. Why are you sweating? I've never seen you sweat. And then Strand is like, look, I made a deal with Proctor John. I'm supposed to unlock the door, and part of the deal was protection for you and your family. When the Proctors move on, I'll be the one who holds down the dam in their name. So it's like, it's good for me, bad for them, but, I'm trying to help y'all out. But now that Daniel knows, my deal may fall through. So if your mom knows what's up, she's going to tell Daniel. And if Daniel knows, he going to try to kill me. So just please get your mom and go. That's what Strand is saying to Nick. Then we see Nick, and he's entering a room with Daniel, and Nick tries to leave, and Daniel is like, no, come on and sit with me. So you were with my Ophelia when she was bitten? Oh, no, you wasn't with her when she was bitten? I thought everyone was trapped inside a bunker. Oh, okay, so you were outside of the bunker? So you saw it coming? You didn't see it until it was too late. This is Daniel talking to Nick, asking him questions and listening to his answers. And how could you miss it? And Daniel walks over to the door while he's talking. He's between Nick and the door. And I was like, oh my God, he between. I don't like nobody between me and the door, especially when I know they're a murderer. And so he's between Nick and the door, and then he locked the door. He padlocks them in. And Daniel was like, you're lying. And you know my background, and you know that I'm a murderer. So a torturer, a murderer, a killer, all of that. So I hope that makes this easier this situation quicker. I don't want to have to torture you. Just tell me the truth. We want this to be quick, easy, and simple. Tell me the truth. Sit down. That's, Daniel still talking to Nick. And then we see baby boy Troy and Madison, and they're working on, the bomb. They're putting CO2 in the walls to make, an explosion if it comes to that. And, Troy is like, the trading post was not really a good place for me or Nick. And you're right to be worried about Nick. I never felt scared before partying with him. He's my only friend. He like a brother to me. And Maddie is like, well, thanks for looking out for him. And Troy is like, we look out for each other. I have to get down here. I don't know what that means with these different kind of people. I think I couldn't really quite catch what he was saying, but basically it was probably some racist, xenophobic type stuff. Because, at the trading post, I was noticing that there were people who were non-white at the trading post. We didn't really hardly see any black people, did we? But I did see an Asian person. I saw some people who looked like they were of some color a little bit. And Madison is like, don't talk like that. We're guests here in this country, in Mexico. And Troy is like, it's funny. You were guests at the ranch. And look at us now. And we're one big blended family. I'm good. I'm all right with our past and what happened, Madison. Are you good? Are we still good, Madison? Now, this child, to me, the whole scene felt kind of like rapey or something. Like, Troy has always seemed crazy to me. Like, I never know what he might do. He's like, oh yeah, we good. And I feel like he could stab you. He could rape you. I don't know what he might do. Cut off your hand. I don't know. He just always seemed crazy to me. And that scene, I'm like, is he going to rape her? But maybe that was just me. So then we see Daniel's inquisition going on. And he's like, you're lying. And Nick is like, I did not kill Ophelia. What do you want? And Daniel was like, I want the truth. The only thing that I believe that you're saying is that you did not kill Ophelia. You liar. You liar. You effing liar. That horde did not materialize out of nowhere. Every horde needs a shepherd. And you're going to tell me who it was. Don't force me, Nick. Please, don't force me to torture you. And then we see Alicia with the doctor and a guy. I think this guy is like the head proctor in charge. And the guy is like, well, Doc, who's the pretty girl? Where are you from? And the doctor is like, oh, this is my new assistant. And Alicia's like, I'm Alicia from LA. And then the guy, head proctor in charge, is like, do you know who I am? Alicia from Los Angeles. And Alicia's like, you the boss of this place? And the guy, the head proctor is in charge, is like, good guess. I'm in charge of this place and more. You heard of the proctors? And I'm like, is he in a wheelchair? He is in a wheelchair. I didn't know. And he's like, we had plans for San Diego and for Mexico, and we were going to go up and we were going to go down. And, he's telling her, spinning the vision. And, Alicia's like, oh, a trade route. And the man is like, right, like the Santa Fe Trail, and, connect the refineries to the farmland, grow the alcohol, refine the alcohol, sell the alcohol. Like, we the rum runners. That's what I thought. I don't know. But anyway, just control some stuff. And did you know that Texas has its own electrical grid? And the only thing stopping me is my health. I have a growth on my spine, and the paralysis is, is doing a number on me. And, the doctor is doing his best. And, the Cotton, the oxy pills, they dull the pain, but they also dull my mind. So I can't be the mastermind of this great thing so good. So it's time for surgery. And Alicia's like, well, that's cool, but I don't really have any experience. So, and the man is like, well, the head proctor in charge is like, well, your job is to assist. If the surgery is successful, you have an amazing opportunity to build. You can come with me to Texas and beyond. And if it fails, somebody else want Alicia. Didn't I tell y'all Alicia's in high demand? And if it fails, well, my brothers have orders to execute everyone in the room, beginning with Doc Eddie. So you ready to scrub in? I'm like, oh, no pressure, baby. Just operate on me. Okay, so then we're back at Daniel's interrogation of Nick. And Daniel was like, based on what you said, only 3 people could have been hurting the horde. You, Jake, or Troy. And Nick is like, it was Troy, it was Jake. And then he says, he didn't stutter, he just said it was Jake. And then Daniel was like, no, it wasn't, it was Troy. He smells of it. Just say it, so I can get justice for my dead daughter. And then Nick is like, Troy is a bigot, but it was Jake. You know, he was never right after his dad's death, and I killed his dad's death, and he's distressed. And Daniel was like, you killed Jake's father? It was Jake, the dead man? And Daniel was like, gives Nick the key and like, your mama gonna be glad to see you. And he lets Nick go. But I don't think Danny Boy believes Nick. I think he got that piece of information. I think he got that information about him murdering, about Nick murdering the father. And I think he got the information that Nick would just lie to him in his face, even in the face of torture. And, you know, he went forward with that and felt like he already knew what he knew anyway, so he don't need him to confirm it. So what do you think? So then we're at the surgery of the head proctor in charge, and there's no anesthesia. He don't really trust it. And Alicia's job is to keep the patient, you know, who is having back surgery still. She like, 4 men couldn't keep it. How am I going to keep him still? What kind of, this is crazy. And Alicia, you know, but they like, that's the deal, girly. So Alicia chats up the proctor, and I'm in charge while the doctor operates, cutting his back open. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't like it. And Doc Eddie is like, I see the tumor. And the proctor is like, get it out, Eddie. And then Alicia's like, he's not here. Just focus on me. It's just you and me. And then the proctor is like, you are a tough kid. And Alicia's like, you have no idea. And then the proctor's like, ah! I think that's what happened. He's screaming. Okay, so then we're back at the dam with Daniel and Strand. And Daniel notices that the water is pumping the wrong way. And Strand is like, oh, I'm sure the water queen Lola's got it covered. And Daniel kind of looks at Strand and walks away like, this guy, let me go check on this, but I'm going to check on you too later on. And then we're down in the bomb site, you know, at the dam where Troy and Maddie are working on, you know, the bomb type situation. And then they're joined by Nick. And Nick is like, Strand sold out the dam to the proctors, and we got to get out of here. And Daniel can't see Troy because he'll kill him. So let's go. And Maddie is like, why would Daniel kill Troy? And Troy is like, I led the horde to the ranch, and the Indians had the ranch. And Maddie is like, the Indians? What are you talking about? We all had it. And Troy is like, you exiled me. So no, not all of us. And Maddie is like, I let you live. You hurt me the most. And Troy is like, no, you hurt me the most. And that was my home, and I'd do it again. And then Madison knocks Troy in the head like with a hammer 2 times, and then he fall down into a little gully. And then Nick leaves, and he kind of seemed a little shocked or disturbed by the murderation of, you know, Maddie's murderation. And then Maddie leaves behind Nick. And then so we're back in the surgery and recovery, and Alicia's like, how do you feel, to the proctor? And she's like, can you wiggle your toes? And then we see a shot of the feet, and it's like, nothing. We see some shots of the people looking, nothing. And then there's like a wiggle, and then he's moving his whole foot, you know. And then the proctor is like, Doc Eddie, I had faith in you the whole time. Let's roll down on the dam. And the doctor's like, I don't think it's a good idea. You just got out of surgery. And then the head proctor in charge is like, I got Alicia from LA, my angel of mercy. You ready, Alicia? And Alicia's like, I ain't no choice, right? He's like, you ain't got no choice. She's like, I guess I'm ready then. Then we see Daniel, and he's walking up on Lola, and Lola is like, the water is running the wrong way. I don't know why. You know, I don't know what's happening here. And then Strand enters gun first, and he like, Lola, step away from the controls. I'm so sorry. And Daniel is like, Victor, you are not a killer. You are a con man. And then they struggle, and Daniel, as Daniel tries to disarm Strand, and they struggling, and then Strand shoots Victor Strand shoots Daniel in the face, but Daniel, he's still alive. And then Lola goes to Daniel and he spits out blood in his teeth or whatever, and she helps him out of the room. And then the Proctors are progressing through the tunnel and into the dam, and it is a bunch. It's like a major takeover. And then it's like it seemed like it's only 2 or 3 resistors, and they get shot down. And then Ephraim is shot. And then a Proctor sees Strand, and the Proctor is like, I thought they were not expecting us. And Strand is like, he lies. He's like, well, the Water Queen and her general are dead. And the Proctor is like, save it for Proctor John. I don't want to hear your story. Tell him. And then Strand sees Madison, and Madison, he says, Madison, hide. And Madison is like, you SOB. And Strand is like, berate me later. Hide now. And then Strand and Nick and Maddie go into a room, and Strand is like, be quiet. Give me the detonator. I'll do everything in my power to prevent harm from coming to either of you. And then Strand leaves with the detonator, and he locks the door to L67 behind him. So Nick and his mama are there together. And that's what I got. I did start watching the next part of the episode. So hopefully, shortly I'll have the next part up of this. So this is a 2-part season finale. Thank you so much for sticking around to hear the review. Today is the best day ever. You are the greatest. We're working on 200 subscribers. So I appreciate all of you who are subscribers. If this is your first time watching me, welcome. Welcome back. If it's not your first time watching me, be you, be fabulous, you. Be you, be fabulous, you. Be you, be fabulous, you.